So I'm fed up with the voices they're in my head screaming and in an attempt to get me to scream and bother my neighbors. And again, in hopes for them to respond or say something about me that I catch on the record. However, it's not where like I this there's nothing going on with me and my neighbors. It would literally be them responding to me, um, screaming from like being over the top, over like overhearing the voices in my head, just done. Um, and I need to release. But anyways, so here I am. Nothing's going on except the voices, the freaking psycho voices I hear in my head that keep saying they're terrorists. And I'm cleaning, so I'm just gonna place my phone down just in case they're real people and there are records involved, so they can couple them up and see very well that there was nothing going on around me at all. Well, it's open-ended. They can start narrowing it down. She said, which record? In my head. I'm assuming the same record that's recording everything I see and hear in my head and around me, and every thought I have, and quietly and out loud, um, in the privacy of my home, in my bathroom, the records, the very top secret records that are held somewhere with the Central Intelligence Agencies. That's what I'm talking about. Not any old record. Just specific telepathy, surveillance technologies that have the ability to read, to serial code each human being and any form of matter or life with a serial number. That 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 technology has records. I'm just saying, assume I'm being paranoid. That 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 technology has records involved whenever you try and um, try to make claims and say you have enough probable cause to investigate someone using these highly sophisticated weapons, and of course to reassure these people that are investigating our human trafficking. There have to be records involved that all central intelligence agencies and governments across the globe would have access to make sure that they're all the same, to make sure that there's a consensus if it were voices I heard outside or just in my head. And so those records, and so since it it would be kind of hard to determine if they're talking in my head and there were records involved. If it's outside, this is my way to reassure everyone talking in my head and any central intelligence agencies that happens to fumble upon my crazy sounding YouTube um, videos, that there's I have like zero worries at all about anybody in my life, period, that I cross on a day, like every day, or what, any day, any random or not random person. Like, I have no fears at all. I like genuinely feel like I am so much on the grid that there's no way in hell that anything can happen to me, especially if I keep telling everyone The only thing that's occurring in my life is my health is deteriorating from schizophrenia. The voices talking in my head who are torturing me night and day not to make a word, not to say a word about hearing them in my head. So that is my only issue. That's it. And well, as you can see, I'm not scared of that either. So, but I am slightly paranoid that records need clarifying. So this is how I handle it. Thank you. No one whatsoever can hear me here. And then, so after. No. Has anyone ever seen? Okay, so we've seen a skeleton, right? It's like this, a box at the top, and then there's the rib cage, but it's still boxy. And then the hips come out just slightly, and then the legs hang down, you know. And that's it, right? There's no person skeleton that bone structure is actually shaped this way from yours. Okay, it is only the fat surrounding it. So, if the fat is distributed. Anyways, I'm talking to voices in my head because I just got I got a tummy tuck and a BBL. And the first time they made me swell so much that it caused me to redrape funny, and there were like wrinkles in my stomach, and I guess, well, from what I've seen, that's fibrosis. I did not have a consensus in regards to what they thought it was. Medical professionals do that. These surgeons, I'm just so actually confused as to why general practitioners do not know more about the aftercare, or anyone for that matter, after a surgery. Okay, navigating aftercare for surgery is like it's almost impossible. It's ridiculous. So the surgeons are like, I do the surgery. I don't know anything about aftercare. Like, what? actually saw a podcast with a surgeon that said that. Sorry. But anyways, so the voices in my head are squeezing my stomach so I cough and giving me this acid reflux, and at the same time they're making me swell, and yesterday it was like suffocating me at night. See, they're doing it now, so I can't sleep. And then they start screaming in my head when I try to sleep early. And I'm about to start brushing my teeth in a minute. But so from all the pushing, eventually there will be bruising, and I'm going to take pictures of it because they keep saying, haha, what do you think? Who said you can go get a surgery to improve your looks? Haha, well, we're just going to stretch your forehead and cause you circles under your eyes. Haha, we're just gonna make you dizzy while you cook, so you have to eat out and you gain weight. Haha, we're gonna do this. Haha, we're gonna do that. So all I do is go see doctors. I'm like all day long because I'm like, dude, and then they're like, oh my gosh, you actually do have this. Like, I know I said my voices said it, but why don't you actually check me out to see if in fact it's happening? And when they do, they are pleasantly surprised. I'm like, I keep trying to tell you the voices sound weird. Fuck you. Nobody seems to understand they sound weird. There's like nothing. There's no research, nothing on schizophrenia, dude. This is crazy. I can't they just assume that it is what it is, whatever, and they just medicate you. But whatever, I'm going through the motions. I'm just like, whatever. Records for days. I want the government to pay for it all, and that is final. And terrorists eat shit. That in my head, the ones talking in my head. Like, haha, now they have rights over these records. I'm not joking. Ha ha ha. Oh, now they can, they can, if God forbid I die this way with the voices talking in my head, or from something they've caused me internally, and I obviously show medical records that in fact this is happening to me, and there are records of like, if in fact this is true, I could be completely paranoid. There's records provided that there are voices in my head, and they're consistent everywhere I go. There's same voice prints, okay? So it's like listening to YouTube, except it's in your head. So, YouTube on repeat, let's say your favorite songs everywhere you go. So it's kind of like that, except these are voices you absolutely hate, and they follow you around everywhere. It's just same voices when you go to your grandma's, when you're in the bathroom shitting in a public bathroom or in your home. They're outside walking you to the mailbox, or they're at your daughter's school when you're talking to the front office, or they're at the grocery store or the library, or at your office, like constantly, and it's the same ones. So where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so if in fact there are records and they hear the voices, and they're clearly like just following me around, I'm like, oh wait, that's not anything outside. She keeps hearing the same voices. That can't be the case, and it's obvious. And then I'm making these videos, and then there are medical records, and I'm taking medications, and then in fact, the government owns all of my records, and they can say, hey, terrorist, you have to unarm or end investigations. This is what I'm hoping for immediately. She's clearly getting sick, and we can't tell the difference if it's you or her, and we want to start to make sure that it's nothing that you're causing her before she dies, so we don't accuse you of murder or whatever, like if in fact there was that like type of thing. I know I'm going off on a tangent. This is like how crazy I get in my head and these conspiracies from what I'm hearing from the voices in my head. Um, yeah, wow, dude, so flippin' crazy. They're crazy, but sorry, I'm wearing sports bra, but um, uh, I am like completely, like my doctor said, um, compressed, and the voices will sit there, and I'm like comfortably compressed, like not, it's not uncomfortable. It's what the voices are doing to me that's making me feel uncomfortable, suffocated, um, giving me this acid reflux and this swelling. I took pictures. I'm going to be putting it on Real Self. So if you're a weird stalker, you can find me on Real Self. Um, but yeah, yeah. Anyways, done talking. Oh, sorry, bro. I just have to say, I love you, Jesus. You're good. Try again. Oh, and their favorite thing to say is, we're gonna do this to your daughter. We're gonna get in her head and do this to your daughter. That is hilarious. And I sit there and I think, okay, then this has to end now. the voices have to make it clear. I hear voices in my head all the time. Because in case there are records involved and there's someone claiming that I'm a terrorist, but more importantly, that I'm a terrorist with schizophrenia, then in fact they can go straight to where to the World Health Organization, the WHO, and say, oh my goodness, on these records we found that Renee actually hears voices, and there's like legitimate evidence. Here we are, let's all sit here together and let's invite Renee and let's test her and see in fact that she hears voices, so hoping that not hoping, but knowing that that's never going to happen. I'm going to die with schizophrenia. I sit here and I make it very clear that I'm going to die with schizophrenia because the voices in my head are too scared to go fetch their Nobel Peace Prize. The voices in my head are scared. They don't want to catch this. They don't want to go fetch their Nobel Peace Prize and be respected like they've been wanting to be. Apparently, they've made a lot of claims to a lot of the advancements in science that they weren't entitled to. So that's what the voices in my head keep saying. So this is a clear record as far as I'm concerned. I don't care how nuts I sound. That they are the sole reason that there is schizophrenia. They are solely responsible for schizophrenia. They are schizophrenics. They're psycho. Woohoo! The voices in my head, man. They hear the voice of God and they freak out, like Cain and Abel. Not to say Cain and Abel were crazy, but when Abel lost his mind and killed his brother Cain, was it the other way around? I think it was that way. Anyways, so, and then he ran and then he heard the voice of God saying, "You're gonna get it 77 times." Well, they hear that voice in their head apparently. I did say I'm Egyptian, right? So this would be my brethren talking in my head because they keep saying they're Egyptian. They're Egyptian American terrorists in my head. And then not to mention they're using religion as a scapegoat to turn religions against each other. That's what the voices keep saying in my head, and they keep saying they're responsible for the wars across the Middle East and Syria and Iran and Iraq and I know that there's like a lot of oil and stuff involved with all of that as well, but one of the underlining issues is with what they're saying is this telepathy technology that's coming as the mark of the beast is coming. It's one of the 7 quantum. What did they say? Like someone told me. I know I can tie it all in together. I met this gentleman at the gym who said science is going to, they're like, what did he say? Like 7 areas of science that are going to rapidly advance, one of which is going to be in the Middle East, and it's going to be this, like, the mark of the beast, this, what I think is the telepathy technology, and where was I going with this? Oh yeah, and so yeah, and the demonstrators, the Satan worshippers, or Satan, the fallen angels, are the demonstrators or demons, using this telepathy weapon, and they're from our country demonstrating on their own people. What this could cause health-wise, so that they can advance medicine, and I don't know what else. So just there's a lot of crazy stuff. I know. Now I'm just rambling. I don't care. Just so much stuff going on in my head. I can't sort it all out quite in the way that would help people understand. But to me, it makes complete sense. Oh yeah, Cain, and Abel, the brethren. So our brethren are they're torturing people to death with these weapons to find out to the extent of their potential to harm and to help. But in order to stay on top, they only allow for so much. For people to climb up the ladder so much before they start to destroy them with this telepathy weapon, so that no one can sit beside them and in fact find out how much damage they've actually done, so that these terrorists talking in my head don't get sentenced to death. So that's what's going on in my head. That's what's going on in my head. Oh my God, I'm crazy. Nice knowing you. انت واهلك وعيالك والزبالة اللي fucking دخل فيكي ده, اللي fucking took over your fucking entire fucking body and mind. Okay. انتوا كلكم شكلكم كده هتعيطوا عياط till we're done. I'm not on drugs, by the way. I'm just having fun. You can drug test me. I swear to God, I have not a problem at all taking a drug test. The voices in my head, though, however, are laughing, and they're like, haha, you look like you're on fucking drugs. Let's show them how much I don't care what people think, unless they want to freaking take me to go get drug tested. And they can do it spontaneously, regularly, and see. They can move next door. They can follow me around. They can be my caregiver. I mean, I don't care. As long as you don't touch my money, other than that, I don't care. You can see where it goes.